What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing great. I hope you guys are having a good New Year so far as well. And I want to thank everyone so much for all their kind words and comments. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all your support to all my new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. As you guys know, CES is on and popping right now for 2024. This 2024 CES has got a lot of people in the air about what's going on. Questions are everywhere. A lot of things are very clear, and then there's a lot of things that are not so clear, and particularly about Samsung. So I did want to speak about that a little bit. I'm going to just kind of press play and pause a little bit here while I talk, just to have some kind of background viewing while discussion is going on with me, and just what I'm wanted to talk about in this video. But I'm gonna go ahead and pause it now. Just to let you guys know too, I did reset all my settings on all three TVs. So these, you're literally looking at out the box settings here. So please do not go by what these TVs look like on camera right now, and how, commenting that the TVs look wrong and why does this green look green and why does this look pink and things like that. They're all completely reset settings right here. So literally out the box settings, and I am in standard mode in these pictures. And I'm not here to really even talk too much about these TVs as we speak. I mean, I will talk a little bit about them, but just use them as reference as to what the next upcoming TVs are is what I'm mainly going to be doing. But regardless, let's get right into it, guys, because I don't really want to be too long. I want to be as quick as possible and just talk about what we have looking forward for 2024 in this TV space here. And for me, as you guys already know, I typically only really like to cover OLED or QD OLEDs, because that's what I purchased. That's what I'm a fan of personally. And yes, I do like mini LEDs. I actually own a mini LED too. I own the Hisense U8K, but I don't really use that TV as much as I do with my OLEDs and QD OLEDs. So before I start, I just want to let you guys know that I did make a video prior to this one, just kind of wanted to express my personal excitement of the G4, because that same day or the day after, or the day before, I can't really remember exactly what day it was, LG did announce or kind of came out with a brief press release, just basically explaining what their TV lineup was, what the availabilities were, sizes and things like that. Obviously no pricing yet. That comes, I believe, sometime in the spring. We're hoping maybe between March and at the latest, I would think May. I'm not really sure exactly when, but if you follow history, that's kind of when the pricing and availability and pre-orders kind of start. Just basically a couple months or so after CES is what I tend to really notice for all brands and TVs, mostly besides Sony. Sony, they tend to come out a little bit later. They don't really show up for CES in the TV space too much. They show up for other things besides TVs. They kind of keep that separate. But anyways, with that being said, I want to talk about some of the statements or some of the things that I was referring to on my prior video. So some corrections that I do want to make is that the LG G4, I initially thought that the stand was going to be available across all sizes in the G series, or at least you had the option of. It doesn't seem like that, at least in the US market. And basically what it looks like now is that you're gonna get the stand only in the 55 inch and the 65 inch. And then in the 77 inch and 83 inch and 97 inch, you're only going to get the dedicated wall mount as before in the prior years, which I'm a little upset about because I feel like it should really be the other way around, just like every other TV where you get the stand and then you can go ahead and buy your own wall mount if you were going to wall mount it, because I feel like more people still put their TVs on a stand than they do on a wall mount. I don't know if I'm really correct on that, but when it's 77 inch or higher, not everybody is going to put it on a wall mount. And I feel like even if you were, you should at least get the option of what type of wall mount you're going to buy. So I know you still get your option. So let's just say you didn't want to use the wall mount that came with the TV. Yeah, of course you can go ahead and buy your own wall mount. I get it. But at that point, I still rather have the stand. That way, if you ever want to be able to put it on the stand, you can use it on your wall mount, or you can use it your wall mount that you purchased, or the stand that it came with. So, I guess it goes the same the other way around. But I just feel like when a TV is shipped with a stand, the stand that it's actually shipped with, because it's a dedicated stand to the TV, tends to fit better or just stand upright better than a third-party stand or stand that, let's say, even the OEM stand that LG makes, even that stand gets wobbly and it just doesn't seem like it's really right for the TV. It's kind of like a second thought. And they didn't put a lot of effort into making it sit right on with the TV. So that's just my personal opinion. I'd just rather have gotten a dedicated stand for that. So I didn't mean to really, elongate that topic, but I just wanted to, make that clear. And another thing I also want to make clear is that when you get the option of the 83 inch with the MLA technology, it's not going to be the original panels. So I know that LG in the beginning stated that they were going to get they've created a new panel or a new gen panel, but there were still some questions in the air with me, at least, because there was just nothing specifying about what they did to create a new gen panel. So a lot of people, including myself, were saying, well, it might just be LG saying it's a new gen panel because it's an 83 inch with MLA. They didn't really make any changes to the panel itself. But LG definitely has made it clear that it is a true new gen panel. And I'm excited about that because basically what their explanation is this new and refined new gen panel is designed to work better with the MLA technology. And I'm just going to use that for reference now. I know that it's going to be, a lot of people are calling it MLA Plus, and I know LG Display calls it Meta 2.0, and I know that LG is going to end up calling it their own thing once they start coming out with more information. They'll be calling it their own thing, just like they did last year. So I'm just going to say MLA for now. But my point is that when they do produce these TVs and these panels, is going to be be more designed and specific and customized to be more compatible with the MLA technology. So it's going to be more refined. The light is going to be even more redirected towards your eyes as a viewer of the TV. So I'm really excited about that. And I just think that in the combination or paired with the new the new Alpha 11 chip. I think that just is enough right there to go ahead and make the jump from even a G3 to a G4. And the reason why I say that is because they've kind of did more than what you would typically expect a manufacturer to do, in my opinion, from one year to the next. Every year, I feel like regardless of whatever brand you're interested in, they do make, minor adjustments, minor upgrades to their TVs. There's not much being done, but I just feel like this is a big leap for LG. Not only did they make an 83-inch available with MLA technology, but they created a new gen panel and they're pairing it with their new Alpha 11 processor, which is, to me, just phenomenal. I'm really excited about that because with LG and their new processor comes with new measurable upgrades. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm some kind of pro and I'm going to be able to measure these things for you. You're going to be able to see all those measurements with all the pros, just like I am. But LG is making some pretty big claims here. So they're making huge claims in how their AI processing is going to be. They're also making big claims on graphic enhancements, up to 70% graphic enhancements. Now, they didn't really, use a certain standard or reference yet as to where they make those claims from and what they're comparing it to. But either way, that's a pretty big statement. I just think that if you are going if you're, let's say, up in the air and are considering getting the 83-inch TV and you already have the 77-inch LG G3, I would probably say, and you want something bigger, I would say it is enough to go ahead and do the upgrade. I just think it's going to be enough, but again, I'm most likely going to be doing that upgrade myself, and I'm excited for it. So, that's kind of where I stand with that. So let me know what you guys think as far as LG goes. I think this is going to be a big year for LG. I feel like it's kind of the trend though. Every year, LG is really the talk in the beginning of the year, and then all of a sudden Samsung comes out, and then with a new banger, and then Sony comes in late in the year, and then all of a sudden they take over, and all the attention goes to Sony, and then everything else goes out the window, which I just don't know if it's going to be like that this year because of the major upgrades that LG and the strides that they went through to basically try to reclaim their title back. And when I say reclaim their title back, it's just they want that name, that reputation back as them making the best TV that they've, that they can make in the market. They want to be known for that again and again like they used to. And as we all know, in the past, LG has always been the number one brand for the best TVs. And I feel like as of recent years, because they haven't been getting that, it's now they're really going through more strides, which I'm excited for. We needed LG to lose in order to regain LG back. Sometimes you got to lose and get humbled to get back to your position of where you were originally. And I think that's a good sign. And I think that makes a competition thicker. And what I like about that is that we are all winners at the end, because it just keeps everyone at the edge of their seat and pushing to be the best even more. And sometimes when you've been number one for so long, like LG has, you become complacent. You think that nobody's really going to make any major strides to compete with you. And then all of a sudden, boom, QD OLED comes out, takes over by storm. Sony gets TV of the year consistently, 3-4 years in a row. And, next thing you know, LG is making strides to reclaim their title back. And that's what it all comes down to right there. So, at the end of the day, we are all winners. And that's what it all comes down to. So what do you guys think about that? I do want to talk about Samsung as well. Now, Samsung just doesn't seem, in my personal opinion, to really care ever to be the best of the best TVs. I feel like they're just happy with the amount of units they sell at an affordable price. Yes, they will have flagship TVs like their QD OLED lineup, but I just don't I feel like they care more about units selling and things like that than a title. And the reason why I say that is because you can kind of tell throughout history that that's how they've always been. They never really won any major titles or TV of the Year or King of TVs or anything like that, but they always sold the most TVs. And I think that's where they win in that aspect. And to them, it doesn't matter what title they get. They're still selling more TVs than anybody else. And that's all that matters to them. And it makes sense, but it just doesn't seem this year like they're going to go through any strides to really, do any major competition for, QD OLEDs. It just seems like they made some minor changes, but you never know. They did come out with a new Tizen OS system, which I'm actually going to be excited. They say it's more responsive, it's more crisp, faster, and things like that, which I'm really excited about. But other than that, I mean, the S95D has has a new like matte finish panel to absorb reflection better and basically just, eat the light and swallow the light up, so you don't have to worry about reflections on a panel in a bright room, which I think is great for people who are purchasing a TV, looking for, a TV that's QD OLED, but with, but has to put their TV in a bright room. And I feel like that that is a smart thing to do. But I just wish that, maybe there was an option or something. I know that's asking for a lot. But anyways, that's kind of like the biggest change they've made. Or a few biggest changes they made is what I'm aware of. And then the S90D seems to still have the same, same panel as last year, not anything major there. What I am confused about is that they have an 83-inch S90D that looks like it's going to be a WRGB panel, or is a WRGB panel. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not exactly sure what that is all about. I am noticing that they also have smaller screen sizes too that are also WRGB or standard OLED TVs. I'm not sure if that is a fact or not, but I do know that they are using LG OLED panels. I just don't know which exact models, which I'm confused about because they literally have their own display of a QD OLED screen and how much heat or energy it uses through the panel versus a conventional OLED. And they're basically downplaying OLED technology or WRGB OLED technology but also adapting it in the same year that they're downplaying it. So I'm a little confused about what Samsung is trying to do there. To me, it's like, how are you going to downplay how bad a technology is and how wasteful and how much energy it uses, but at the same time come out in that same year with new panels that are WRGB OLEDs. I just don't get that. So it's just mind-boggling to me. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm also excited about the the new I think it's S85D. So that seems to be more of like a value, and it's again a whole new lineup. It's not like a random, like last year where it's like the S89C or something like that. This is actually a new TV, and that's added into their lineup. And I don't know again if it's a QD OLED or a standard OLED. I think it is a QD OLED actually, but it has a nice finish to it. And who knows what the processing is going to be? I don't know, but I don't even know if it's a new gen panel, to be honest with you. But either way, excited to see what that TV is all about, because for some reason I feel like that's going to be the TV that everyone's going to be purchasing, because it's going to be so close to the S95D or S90D that is going to be the value TV that Samsung makes. They're really, really good at making these fantastic TVs at an awesome price with their new flagship technology, the QD OLED technology. So you got to give props when props is due, and Samsung, I think, has the best eye for that. And we're still waiting for Sony as well, so we don't know what they're going to bring to the table. I would suspect nothing too crazy, nothing too different. They kind of follow Samsung's lead because Samsung are the ones that make the QD OLED technology. So it's like they can't do anything without waiting for Samsung, and then they'll make their own improvements with their own processing on top of that. So. But we'll see. I'm excited about it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it somewhat helpful. What do you guys think? Here's what I would like to personally see out of LG, and I want to use this as a sample. So LG is promising. Actually, every brand is going, as far as OLEDs goes or QD OLEDs go, I think they're all kind of fighting for this 3000 peak brightness or nit peak brightness battle. I'm just noticing that between Samsung and LG. They just have different approaches, obviously, QD OLED versus WOLED. And again, they're still claiming the same thing. But what I'm excited for specifically with LG is that they also are saying that we're going to get more color brightness too. So if you guys look, let's say, at this frame right here that's on a TV. Now, I want to talk about color purity. And QD OLEDs have the better color purity. It's just that simple. You can't get around it. And the reason why is because it doesn't require the white subpixel to go ahead and push that brightness through the panel. The colors do it themselves individually, which is really nice. So, and that is again another reason why the TV is more energy efficient. So, so even though they are claiming the same thing, they go about it differently. But LG is also claiming that they're going to have more color purity through their TVs with their brightness enhancements as well. And with their new Alpha 11 processor, they have a new AI Picture Pro processor that is going to help with that. And I'm all about it. I don't care how they do it, but if they can make the reds look more pure or the oranges look more pure than they do now in a WRGB panel and LG, I'm all for it. Why not? It doesn't matter how they do it as long as it gets done, basically. That's how I see it. So I'm really excited about that because that just goes to show how much faith they still have in WRGB technology. A lot of people out there saying that, OLED's dead, ancient technology. I get that all the time. Just things like that. Why are you still buying standard OLEDs? QD OLED is the future. And I don't really think it's that simple because, first of all, WOLEDs or WRGB OLEDs still have their individual advantages, excuse me, over QD OLED. And I don't want to get too into it because it's going to be a whole other video or a whole other topic. But what I will say is that they both have their advantages over one another. And it really just comes down to what your personal preference is. So, obviously, QD OLED has a more pure color and which utilizes more of the color palette. I get it. But at the same time, WRGB, or maybe it's just LG OLEDs, they have a better depth to their TVs. They just do. I don't know of any other way to really explain it. I've had all three of these TVs, as you can see. I've had OLEDs from LG for the past 6-7 years, multiple OLEDs. I've had QLEDs, I've had LEDs, I've had LCDs. There's nothing like LG and their depth. I don't really know any other way to explain it. Now, I think that QD OLEDs have kind of really made that gap a little bit closer, as yes, it does have let's say that 3D pop. I know that could be considered a bad word, and I can see why, but basically it has gotten better, the depth perception with QD OLEDs, especially on the A95L. But again, it's just not as good as how LG does it. And that's something I just can't let go personally. I'm spoiled by it. I feel more immersed by it. It's more fun to watch. It just looks more real, in my opinion, with that. And I think if they can keep that going and then just enhance their fine details like Sony can with this new Alpha 11 processor, they're going to give Sony a run for their money, point blank, period, especially while getting brighter and getting their colors better and still sticking with WRGB OLED or standard or conventional OLED technology. So that's what I wanted to get to, is they still have faith, full confidence in this technology. They're not letting it go. If anything, they just keep enhancing it and they keep proving us wrong. And they always do. Right when you think it couldn't get any brighter than 500-600 nits, they got brighter. Right when you couldn't think they couldn't get any more color out of their TVs, they got a little bit more color. They do keep enhancing their technology. They do. And I think that it's a good thing. I don't care how it gets done. But they have full confidence in their abilities, and you can see it, and they're not giving up. As a matter of fact, they're not only not giving up, they're making enhancements. Look at their T model that's coming out. They're making a transparent OLED. I know that it's been a concept for years, but look at them now. They're actually coming out with it, guys. They're actually releasing it to the public as a consumer TV. All right. So that's how much they have their confidence in conventional OLED or WRGB OLED. They just keep enhancing and improving on it. They're not letting it go. So it's really not going anywhere. They're only going to make it better. And for people to just say it's ancient technology, it's dead, they did everything they could do with it, I don't think so. I beg to differ. And I strongly feel that LG feels the same way, and they keep proving people year and year or year after year. And so what? It can, QD OLEDs can have more color and things like that, more color purity. I get it. And that's why I have QD OLED technology, because I do want to see the difference in that as well. And I do see the difference, just like here. You can see that the red is more red. There's certain colors that look better than others in a QD OLED. Oranges look a lot better with QD OLEDs. Reds look a lot better with QD OLEDs. There's certain colors that just look phenomenal. But again, it's just they still have their advantages over one another. And I'm here for it. I think at this point right now, it is going to come down primarily to processing. And I think that these TVs had advanced so much that it really is only going to come down to processing at this point in the future. And that's how close these TVs are, even though they're completely different technologies. So I could go on more and more. I'm not going to do that, guys. I don't want to bore you, but thank you so much for all your support. I can't wait to talk about it more. I'm super interested in buying the 83-inch G4 in the future. So you will see reviews on that, comparing it to other TVs. I'm not sure about the S95D. I'm just super, super not a fan of the matte finish. Maybe the S85D, or maybe the S90D. I'm just in the 77-inch. I might be interested in that. And moving on, again, the S95D still has a One Connect box. I'm just not a fan. The S95C is just, it's a beautiful TV. Just the One Connect box, I'm just not a fan of. And the dropouts and things like that just drove me a little too crazy. And I just can't see myself buying another TV with a One Connect box because of that reason. So anyways, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate your support. I hope you guys are doing great. Please leave a comment. Please leave a like. If you guys can, that'll be super helpful for me. But again, thank you guys, and I will see you